Alright, so guys, here we are. We have the pleasure and honor to watch this great footage by JomezPro.
Jomez Productions.
I'm Simon Lizotte.
I'm McMahon.
And let's check out the front nine of 2017 Waco Charity Open Pro Tour event.
Let's go. Hole 1/7. It's basically just a kind of an easy hyzer. The hill slopes in a way where you can just kind of throw a hyzer into it and get it to stick. It's definitely one you want to get right off the bat. Addison, it plays a little differently for us since he's a lefty, and looks like the shot he kind of pulled a little too far left and never got that ground play. So he's gonna find himself out of bounds.
First off, welcome to the tour, Addison. I mean, I've never heard of him before. He's a local. I think he's one of the best players here in Waco. And super nice guy. I got to play with him in practice too. But I think maybe some nerves were involved on that first shot of his.
Definitely, yeah. I've heard of him. I played with him last year, and just super nice guy. Look forward to. I was glad we got to play with him this first round.
For us, it's just basically I don't know what you're throwing, a PD2 or FD3. So it's just a spike high. The wind is pushing kind of left to right, a bit headwind. So just make sure you don't throw it too high like you almost did.
Almost, but that was inside the circle, and pretty sure I can convert on that putt.
Here we have the current world champion.
Current Aussie Open champion.
Oh yeah, there you go.
He's just taking his overstable disc, playing it right in that hill, and he's parked.
That's pretty good. Good start to a tournament.
Addison throwing a forehand up there. That should get him his bogey.
The video never really shows how windy it is. Like even these 20 footers right here are really, really tough to make. So I think you probably felt good making that.
I was so happy and relieved.
I even was happy I made this one.
I mean, I thought there was a small chance that you could have possibly missed it. But
it was. Oh, totally.
Because the warm-up area for this tournament isn't terrible, but it's kind of funky because you have to walk across the entire course. It takes like, you warm up and then it takes like 20 minutes to get to hole 1. So it's kind of interesting. So you could find yourself a little shaky on hole 1.
The stars got the birdies.
Addison's a star.
Addison is a star, but he still has to prove himself as a star.
True.
It was interesting they made us start on that hole. I think it kind of took away from the flow of the course that it usually has.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I like this course. For those of you who have played it, you start on hole 1 and play 9 holes, and it's pretty much kind of like this type of golf, semi-wooded but open for the most part, and then you go to the back 9 and it's completely wooded. I liked the 50-50 aspect, but since we were starting on hole 7, it kind of threw off the initial flow of the course.
Yeah, you like ran through the woods for like 2 hours and then you still have to play 6 holes afterwards. This hole is a par 4. It says par 3. Hole 8, par 3, 6. I think this might be a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. But
possibly is, because if it feels like a par, like if it's over 400 feet on this course, it's a par 4. Because the par is 67, which is it's really generous, I feel.
Yeah, most of the par 4s should be par 3s and the par 5s could be par 4s. But this is actually pretty legit par 4, especially in the headwind we're throwing into.
That I want to say that is nerves, because Addison's a pretty good disc golfer, and that's very uncharacteristic of him.
Good shot.
I'm glad you know that. Addison probably throwing some sort of a mid-range here.
What's his sponsor? Is he sponsored?
I don't think so. I think he's just sponsored by Legit. He was wearing that shirt. I'm not sure though.
That's legit.
That's legit.
Nice. So smart.
Ricky putting it inside the circle. What are you throwing on this upshot, Simon?
Oh, I get the tracker? Nice. So that is my Glow MD3 Eagle McMahon shout out. And I threw it in the headwind with like a bunch of hyzer and it just worked somehow. That's a gator for you.
Beat up gator. Getting low. This was a pretty big headwind on this putt, just note that. I remember that was a pretty impressive putt.
It would have gone in without any chains on the basket, so that's the perfect putt right there.
Addison tapping in. You should have a pretty hard time with this putt. Oh, whoa.
That's
that
like,
blew my mind.
Right now, that's my ring of confidence. 6 feet. When I'm inside 6 feet, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it.
Same. 2 birdies, a par, and a bogey on that hole.
Yeah, for me right now, I'm beating Eagle. I'm doing fantastic.
So this hole, there's about 3 different ways you can go. There's a up the gut, there's this kind of a tight hyzer, and a kind of a big, it's kind of a tricky hyzer. You kind of have to throw it high and not put too much power on
There's
it.
a sidearm gap there too. Shout out to Eric Oakley. I saw him throw some sidearms on this hole, which I think is interesting, but I just take the wide hyzer as like my favorite shot to throw. And from the tee, that looked parked.
Yeah, I thought you were really close, but I think you ended up probably just on circle's edge.
Yeah, like 30 feet short.
Notice that we're throwing it from the back of the tee pad, because if we were to throw it from the front, that hyzer line would be even tighter. It kind of opens it up.
This is one of the holes on this course where you, at least as a right-handed thrower, it's like you really want to birdie this hole. It's one of the easier holes because there's nothing that can really go wrong.
Addison gets the middle gap where I feel like he was trying to take the right gap. He'll have a long putt.
I think he was running that.
I think so. Wasn't that a headwind putt if I remember?
It was. But the wind, like when I lined up my putt, it just like died down. So I was like, all right, this is easy.
It's a good putt by you.
I felt like I couldn't miss.
It's a good feeling. Ricky can't miss.
No, Ricky really can't miss. We think
Really?
we can't miss, but he actually can't miss.
He literally can't miss. I'll just throw the putt and it goes in no matter what.
Good par by Addison. He just wants to wake up and get this round started. Rough start.
So that was hole 9. Now we are heading into the woods. 9 holes of just absolute technical golf now. Completely different game than the front.
Are we calling this hole 4 now or hole 10? We're calling it hole 10.
10-4, good old buddy.
This hole is... I don't think it's very fair. I mean, you can throw great shots and just get totally screwed. And you can throw bad shots and get just miracle luck. So I don't like this type of holes. That was a really bad shot, by the way, and I got kind of lucky.
Right in the middle of the fairway. Yeah, so basically off the tee shot, you want to kind of take a... You can go putter, mid, or fairway on this. I personally go fairway. I'm throwing a Lizotte FD on this. The new run is really understable. I basically threw this like a putter upshot, and you get around the corner, and that was pretty much perfect aside from hitting that tree right there. So
You want to be where Eagle is, just like 6 feet to the left. That's perfect. This was a great shot. He threw like a flippy putter. Hyzer flip putter right down the middle is really good.
you kind of have to learn to throw those shots if you're a lefty. Ricky trying to go really aggressive and catches a tree. Forehand roller. I like where his head was at.
Yeah, he seemed confident.
I remember that little kick out you did. I was trying not to laugh.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to avoid. You want to throw great shots or bad shots.
This is Ricky getting unlucky right here. Skips, hits the basket, and rolls outside the circle.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I have a pretty, not an easy upshot, but I just it kind of slips out of my hand here. I wasn't very happy with that. Especially after where I put my drive. I was hoping to get more luck.
Can't believe I hit that branch.
What was your idea behind throwing a Metal Flake PD2 on a little upshot there?
Because I had to put so much angle on it to get it to curve, and then I had to have it flex back so it wouldn't roll.
Did that cut through the chains or did it hit right side?
It hit right side. It was almost really good. See, after the run you were talking about this hitting a branch and going in, but I think it would have gone in either way. The branch didn't really affect it.
Yeah. I'm right at the circle's edge. I hit a branch there and it doesn't go in.
The video didn't show the branch.
Maybe the branch was in my head.
I saw the branch. It was the branch.
I hit an iron leaf. But 4 is not too bad on that hole.
4 is great.
If you're 3 in that hole, you're getting a stroke on the field.
I didn't feel like I played that hole poorly, and I got a bogey, so... There's probably worse scores than a 5, though. Probably a bunch of 6s and 7s, too.
Hole 11, this hole is slight uphill. You're either throwing kind of a flippy fairway or a straight mid on this one. Probably one of the easier birdies to get on this course. Just just right there on your face.
Yeah, a lot of the upcoming holes will look almost similar. You just have to throw really straight. And that was not a good throw by our world champion.
Yeah, I see what he's trying to do. He threw an anchor there, which is an overstable mid-range. He's trying to get that flex. It just kind of a tricky shot. I threw more of an understable MD3 there, kind of put it on a hyzer, let it flip and ride. Gave it a little bit of an ace run.
You threw that so gently and it went all the way. I was surprised.
He's going to be circle's edge. That's not a bad spot to be.
As long as we're putting, that's all we're looking for.
You're throwing an FD here because you want to ace it, right?
I really wanted to ace this hole, but I just totally... I don't know why, but that bogey on the hole before, I don't know what happened. Somehow I felt weak after that, and I just early released all my shots.
Ricky on top of the hill. This putt's from just outside the circle right here. Was happy to get that one after missing the putt on the last hole.
The good thing about going in the woods is that the wind totally died down. Like no wind really, it's so guarded.
Ricky getting a 3.
Making 30-footers look like tap-ins.
Mm-hmm.
There goes my confidence.
Addison putting in a 2.
Yeah, Addison's probably feeling good. He just parred the tough par 4 and now birdied this, and he's ready. He's ready to play some disc golf now.
birds, 2 threes. This hole's kind of tricky. I mean, if you have an overhand, I'd say that that's the shot for this hole, but otherwise you're either taking a sidearm or a slow turnover. Kind of one that you don't feel too bad about missing. Overall, it's kind of a tricky hole for me. Taking a Metal Flake Max thumber here. I pull it a little too far left and it never gets the time to kind of fight back.
I think if you throw it flippy or disc, it will work better.
Yeah, I don't really have a disc though that I can throw that far.
PD2.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
It would, but it wouldn't be. There's just something about the Max rim that I really like. This shot is really good. Whoa.
Got a good kick too.
It's a great kick.
The gap you want to hit is probably like 10 feet wide and like 100 feet away. So it's tough, and we opt for the sidearm because it's easier to hit gaps with a sidearm, I think. But not if you do that.
It's so easy to hit gaps.
I mean, I got kind of lucky still getting through most of those trees.
Guys, this is a great lesson for you guys to learn. Never give up. If you throw a bad shot, that means you can hit a great putt.
How long was that? That was like 100 feet.
Oh my gosh. What a little child.
I was like, of course.
Of course.
Of course I made that.
Oh.
Yep. I actually really liked that putt because it was just straight in the whole way and just hit like dead center.
I like that putt. Yeah. What? I kind of couldn't believe that happened when I saw it with my own eyes. Addison getting a 2. I tap in for 3.
Yeah, Ricky doesn't usually miss those. You can see his slight frustration there. But you can't expect to be perfect. That's one mistake people make. They want to be perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
At least not at golf. This hole, I want to say it's a kind of easy par 4, but then again, it's not really easy.
It's all about hitting the initial first gap. If you throw a mid or a fairway out into the field, then you're left with a semi-easy upshot. So your main goal is just to get out of this first kind of gauntlet of trees. That's a really good shot.
If that drive was a foot higher, it might have been parked.
What are you throwing here, Simon?
I'm throwing my FD again, like early release.
Great kick.
Get a really good kick. So I threw my drive was about 100 feet far, and I still have a chance for birdie from there. And you're just following me, just getting even more lucky.
Yeah, both early releases. I mean, that easily can happen on this hole. Ricky putting a good drive out there.
Same disc again. Just want to keep it low. Throw it like 10 feet higher than I wanted. And right there is not bad because it's a really funky green. It like drops down 20 feet and then goes back up 20 feet. So I'm actually level with the basket right now. Just have myself like a 50-footer. Anything can happen. If you hit the basket, you will probably roll back down there and have like a 25-footer up, straight uphill.
Just a little S-line P2 right there. Not doing too much, just throwing it straight.
That's for eagle. Didn't really give it a run.
That wasn't for eagle. That was for Addison. You were scaring me all day with these long putts. You were all over the basket.
I put that one on a great line. Small little death putt here for Ricky, but
Eagle, Ricky, birdie.
everything's for eagle.
Eagle for Simon.
You can see the wind at least a bit.
Awesome. Easy tap-ins. How's it feel to be on the only par?
Not good. I really don't like being last on the tee. It just feels like everyone's waiting for you so they can go to their discs.
Yeah, exactly. Hole 14. This is probably in my opinion, the funkiest hole on the course. It's just really short, pretty tight gaps, and right at the basket it slopes downhill. So if you throw a good shot and hit on the right side, you're pretty much rolling down. So I don't know, just kind of poke and hope, close your eyes and throw.
It's maybe the shortest hole on the course, right? Is it?
It might be, yes.
That was a shank job and got through a couple trees, hit one of them. It's kind of what you expect.
I'm going really understable P2.
You're going ace run.
I mean, off the corner of the box standstill, just because it opens up that left gap a little bit more.
I've never seen you throw that disc before, by the way.
I've never seen myself throw that disc before. I mean, it does what I think it's going to do, so that's a good sign.
Oh my goodness. This is so bad, and people ask us all the time, like, if I throw bad shots, how do I recover, or how do I get my head back into it? I was struggling that round figuring that out, because I was throwing really bad tee shots. And I was just wondering, what am I doing? You just have to keep trying, hit that line. Eventually it might work.
Wow. It's lucky that basket was there. See, I'm right here and I have like such a weird, awkward putt. Punch my discs, a little upset.
Did it hurt?
It hurt.
Good.
That was a funky little spit out right there. Almost caught on, but just slid out. So no birdies on that hole.
No, this hole is kind of throw and hope. I mean, you throw a great shot and you were just 30 feet long and you had nothing. And Ricky threw a decent shot, got a bad kick, and had a tough 35-footer and just missed it. So no holes out here are really gimmies in the woods.
Not at all. You never know what's gonna happen. This might be the toughest hole on the course.
If they'd call it a par 4, it would definitely be the toughest hole, but it doesn't really matter what par is anyway. But we were coming off like a 30 to 40 minute wait. Because hard holes always create backups. Because people do shots like that. And it takes him a while to get out of the way for the next card.
Yeah, the thing about this hole is, if the trees lining the fairway weren't as thick as they are, it would be a lot easier. But if you go in there, you're basically lucky if you can pitch right back out to the fairway. So just getting a straight shot landing on the fairway is almost crucial on this hole.
A little early release again, high and early, high and late.
Addison gets a good kick into the fairway. I'm stretching out, throwing a little FT.
I was really surprised you chose that disc.
I was surprised that I hit that gap and kicked out.
You weren't aiming for that gap, right?
No, I wasn't aiming for that gap.
You wanted to go around.
Of course I just wanted to go around. You almost threw a great shot. But
I was frustrated here because I was aiming for that tree just to hope to miss it.
Oh, I love when I do that. And actually hit what you're going for. So right here, going high.
That was a sick shot. I mean, it didn't end up in the greatest spot, but from your knees throwing a 100-foot high sidearm?
Sometimes you gotta just zone out and see a gap and go for it. Don't question if you're capable of it or not.
You inspired me a bit.
I mean, my idea here, like, you could just pitch up around the corner, pitch up, get your 4, get your 5.
I got unlucky. Did you see that? I would have parked it. I wondered how I ended up there. I mean, I wasn't too unhappy, but
yeah, if you're going over top, it's kind of a calculated risk because if you hit the line, you're going to be down by the basket with an easy pitch up, or possibly get lucky and get an opportunity to get a birdie. There's not much really Ricky could do there.
that was for a 3 though, so he's not really too worried about it. If you 4 this hole, you're not losing any strokes.
I have a little bit of a line here. That was kind of my fault. I snapped my wrist on an anhyzer where I should have just snapped it flat. There's a good 4 right there. SloMez replay. Nice.
Beautiful. It looked like a longer putt than it felt. It felt like not missable. Do you know that feeling?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just to gain a stroke on you, so I had to make it.
I thought there was a second I could miss this putt. I was a little scared.
Don't be scared. Putting is all about confidence.
It's true. Practice those 10, 15 footers, guys. Alrighty. Well. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the back 9.
More exciting throws to come. A couple more highlights waiting for us.
Keep on dreaming.
Later.